welfare system, I think of deadbeats, unemployed individuals that are alcoholics, drug abusers, or people that are just trying to take advantage of the American system. It was Charles Murray in 1984 that made a similar statement when he wrote the book Losing Ground, when he had said that the welfare system is bad because it subsidizes bad habits and attitudes. He said, take away the check and you will be treating the poor like equals, spurring them to take responsibility for their lives and possibly climb to prosperity and shrink the size of the underclass. In October 9, 2010, Allison Krusnick made a similar statement of the West Virginian people that were on welfare. She said that they were drug abusers and alcoholics and that she had noticed that this trend continued to rise each year. She feels like alcohol and drugs go hand in hand with domestic violence, child abuse, lack of stable work, and a repeat in the cycle of substance abuse. When I first started this report, I felt the same way. I felt like our government was not making people be responsibility for their actions, making them get out there and work and be equal with us and try to get out of the American welfare system. It seemed like families after families after families continued to repeat the cycle of using the government to take care of them and to feed them and to provide housing and not make them be responsibility for the fact that they had children and they needed to provide for them. I was amazed when I first started this report and found out that this system has evolved since the 1930s. In the 1930s, it was first the churches and nonprofit organizations that did the welfare systems. The people went to them and they asked for help. The ones that were asking for help was the dependent individuals that were not able to take care of themselves. It was the orphans, the children, the elderly, the disabled. That was who went and asked for help. Then in the 1950s, when the Depression was starting to take and unfold, it was Dwight D. Eisenhower that did his New Deal. This is when the government took responsibility for its people. This is when the government stood up and tried to help the people that needed help. He offered places for the people to leave these shelters and these group homes. He offered them money to be able to get out and to not have to rely on charities. It was the New Deal that helped establish the welfare system for people today and continued to evolve where the government was helping to take care of the individuals. Prior to 1996, individuals were able to stay home, have their children, get food stamps, get medical care, get housing, and have this trend continue year after year after year, generation after generation. It was 1996 when Bill Clinton made a stand and said no more. It was 1996 when he said, you are allowed to have the welfare system help you in times of need. 2 years is what you get to get help from the system. 2 consecutive years. After that time, you should have the knowledge and the skills that the government will help you get so that you can go out on your own and take care of yourself. The government would offer you 2 years of support to better yourself, or 5 years non-consecutively in a lifetime. This was a wonderful plan. I was very surprised to hear that this was out there and that changes are being made to get people off the system and not have generation after generation take advantage of the system. He also realized another problem that the system had was child support. People were not paying child support to their children so that they could eat and have a roof over their head and be taken care of. It was amazing the ideas that they came up with. Child support can now be taken out of paychecks. It can now be taken out of the individual taxes. And I found out in the state of Oklahoma, it can also be taken out of gambling winnings. So when the individual comes to the state of Oklahoma to collect their winnings in gambling, lottery, whatever it may be, they are red flagged and the money is sent to the children so that they are taken care of. This morning, I wanted to let you know that I no longer feel like the welfare system is a failing system. I feel like we have evolved and we continue to evolve into finding ways to have people not be so reliant on the system and to be responsible for taking care of themselves. I no longer feel like that this welfare system is a failing system. Thank you.